Welcome to the Newsome MMA Podcast in association with MMA Play 365, giving you the edge in MMA betting. I'm your host Kieran, and tonight I'm joined by Ian Garry, a rising star in the Cage Warriors Welterweight division. Ian, how you doing, pal?
How's things? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Thank you for taking the time to join us. I know this was a little bit later than we planned originally, but I know things get in the way.
Yeah, look, I was out for a swim, and we have a charity night out in my local area. So one of the lads passed away a couple of years ago, and we do this charity event every year, kind of towards the end of August, and it's like a Friday and a Saturday thing where everyone comes up from the area and just kind of plays a couple of football matches, and then comes up to the bar and just sits around and talks, and everyone has a couple of pints. So I was just sitting up and showing my face and saying hi to everyone, and then I completely forgot when my phone was on charge behind the bar.
Nah, don't worry about it, man. It's obviously you're helping out with fantastic cause. You can't get frustrated with that.
No.
Yeah, man. It's weird hearing you this upbeat, because the last time we talked was at Cage Warriors 106 Night Champions, where obviously your fight with Odunjo had been called off at late notice. You'd failed his medical, and obviously I think we did our interview like 10 minutes after your teammate James Webb. He just had his fight and had a controversial draw. So sort of asking about that. So what's the mentality? What's like the atmosphere being like at camp, going back into camp? Because I think it's fair to say that weekend wasn't how any of the guys at Team KF saw that weekend going.
No, it wasn't. You're right. Look, my fight happened. There's nothing I can do about it. Do you know what I mean? Fights get called off all the time. Unfortunately, it happened to me this time, and it can happen to anybody. And look, there's nothing I could have done. There's nothing Cage Warriors could have done. There's nothing Teo could have done. It was just one of those shit situations that you kind of had to just bite your lip and just keep moving forward with it. But yeah, like, look, I would have loved to fight, and I would have fought anyone, but people were smart not to take the fight. I mean, taking the fight in a day's notice is ballsy, no matter who it's against. So it was just unfortunate for me on my behalf. But yeah, for James, I actually think James came off worse, because he basically done 25 minutes of hard work dominating a fight, and then got told it was a draw, which is basically the fight might have never happened, because it's pointless. A draw means nothing. So yeah, the camp's been going good. James hasn't been back really because he's been injured. He's doing rehab due to that illegal spike. So we kind of hurt his shoulder or his neck. I'm not really too sure what it is, but he hasn't really been back. I came back. I went away for a week after that fight because I had it planned already, and then I was straight back into camp, and I've been working my ass off ever since, knowing that I was going to have a fight soon. And then once it got confirmed against Martyn Harris for Cage Warriors Unplugged, I was head down, ready to go, focused, and have been ever since. And I'm just ready to go now. 2 weeks ago today. So
yeah, so man, like you said, your fight got cancelled 24 hours notice. But has that made it easier to get prepared for this fight in terms of getting mentally in the game, physically back in the game? So obviously you were fight ready.
Yes, yeah, kind of. I mean, I'm always fight ready. I mean, I always want to fight. I'm always looking to fight. I want to fight as much as possible. I've said this to Chris, and I've said this to Ian Dean, and I've made them aware that I don't want to be a guy that fights 2 or 3 times a year. I want to fight 4, 5, 6 times a year. I mean, I'm young. I'm in a situation where I can get this done in and out early and make my legacy, and still be able to remember my kid's name when I'm 40. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to overstay my welcome, basically. I want to get in, get out, play this game smart, and leave a legacy. But I've always been ready. I always will be ready. And once I get an opponent confirmed, my mind is only on fighting. So like, I'll go out with my mates, and we'll be like, for example, tonight is a perfect example. I'm out with my mates. These are all up having a few pints, having pizza and food, and enjoying the weekend, because it's a good memory, and we're trying to remember the life of someone that was so dear to us all. But I'm up here just having a cup of tea and some water, and just enjoying the atmosphere, ready to go, because my fight is only focused on one thing and one thing only. And to be honest, if I had the chance to train right now, I would. but everyone's out enjoying their Friday night. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah. It's great to hear. It's great to hear that you're mentally and physically ready in the game, and that you're raring to go. But we've got to talk about this card, man. It's another big Cage Warriors card you've been asked to compete on. So Cage Warriors 101 in Liverpool, that was a fantastic card, very big card. You were asked to compete again on Cage Warriors 106, obviously it fell through. But now Cage Warriors Unplugged 2, it's on BT Sports in the UK for a start, which is it's the first card this year. It's on BT Sport. There's a big bantamweight tournament going on. It's going to be a huge card. It's going to have a lot of eyes on it. What's it like knowing that Cage Warriors, the top brass of Cage Warriors, Graham Boyle and Ian Dean, they've got the faith in you to keep asking you to come and perform on these big cards for them?
I think, to be honest, I think they see the potential. I think that's what it is, and I don't want to. I've been saying this a lot lately, as in seeing people saying the potential and people saying that I could be this and I could be that. I don't look at it like that, but obviously they see something and they want me to be on these cards, and it's very, very heartwarming for me to see people at that who have been around the game so long see the potential and want me on such big cards. I mean, like the fact that they even wanted me on a 1-0 fighter on the Night of Champions was massive to me. I know it fell through, but still even the fact that they wanted me on that and they were pushing for me to be on that and still try make a fight, even though they had about 1% chance of getting a fight, that Ian Dean was still out pulling his hair trying to get an opponent. So it's really nice to know that they want me to fight. And look, to be honest, I think they just know that I'm going to bring it, because you look at my teammates, you look at the team, you look at what we're doing. Chris and Tom are running something special in Team KF, and I'm just young, ready to fight, and just want to do the business. And I think they know that, and they want to just show everybody the future.
Yeah, man. It's always good to know that Graham Boylan and Ian Dean, they're looking out for these brights. Obviously, they're putting out as you as one of the biggest and brightest mini Cage Warriors, because obviously they've picked out some fantastic fighters. A lot of these fighters have now gone to the UFC as well, like Jack Shaw, like Nathaniel Wood. It's great to see that they've got that faith in you and that belief in you. But sort of moving on, man, we've got to talk about your opponent. You're taking on Martyn Harris at this event. So what do you know about him stylistically? What's he going to fight like? What are you expecting him to do?
I've watched a couple of things. I've said this multiple times, and I'll say it again. I'm not massive on watching fighters who I'm fighting against. I really don't care. That's my coach's job. That's Chris's job. Chris will go watch them. He'll tell me what he wants me to, what type of game plan he wants me to implement. He runs the show. I do what I'm told, and I go in there and I stick to the game plan. And he basically, from what I've looked at, he's fought some really good fighters. When you look at the likes of Alex Lahore and Nathan Jones, he's fought some of the best in Europe, which I'm excited about, because I want to be up there in that conversation with the likes of Alex Lahore and Nathan Jones. I just expect him to come in and close the distance instantly. I mean, if he doesn't, he's a bit of an idiot, because he doesn't win the fight in the feet. He has to close the distance, and he'll have to push me to the cage or take me down, and I think that's going to be his game plan. But I really don't know, so I'm just kind of hoping and praying that he makes a mistake and I'll capitalize on it. But like, at the end of the day, I'm just going to go in there, do me, and be smart and implement my game plan that me and Chris are going to set out, and then get the win.
Yeah, so you obviously mentioned there a few of the big names he took on. So Nathan Jones and Alex Lahore. He's obviously taken on Hackett Foss in the past as well.
And Steve O'Keefe, yeah.
Yeah, Steve O'Keefe. He lost against all those guys, though. But do you think him having that experience of being in those cage with those guys is going to be maybe a little bit of advantage for him? Obviously, this is only your second pro fight. I know you've had a fair few amateur fights as well.
Yeah. No, I don't think it's going to have any advantage. He may have lost to those guys, but they're some of the best in Europe. You've got to give them respect for that. You've got to give him respect for stepping into the cage with the likes of them. No, I don't think it's going to make a difference. I think he's going to have a little bit more confidence coming in against me, and that's about it. But at the end of the day, as I've said, I want to be up there with the names like Hackett Foss, Alex Lahore, Nathan Jones, and I'm going to go in there and try to show why I should be up there with that group. And look, if I don't respect him, he's going to beat me. I have to. Do you know what I mean? He's been around long enough. He's had enough fights that if I make a mistake, he's going to capitalize on it. I have to go in there, be smart, be composed. Otherwise, he'll take advantage of that and he'll win. But at the same time, he shouldn't be thinking that I'm just a 1-0 fighter coming in here expecting to run through him. He should be expecting me to come in there looking to make a name for myself, and he needs to respect me at the same time. So it's a two-way street. He shows respect and I'll show respect, and at the end of the day, the better man's going to come out at the end.
Yeah, so, it's great to sit here. You've got that respect for your opponent, man. That you're not. There's a lot of fighters.
You have to have respect. If you don't have respect for your opponent, you're not a man. I mean, you see all these people going in talking shit about their opponent, trying to play that game of getting into their head. No, that's people who are insecure about their fight and try to sell fights by talking shit. Your fighting is what people want to pay attention to and people want to see. So talking shit is going to do nothing. Disrespecting your opponent to try to get in his head is going to do nothing. You should be confident in your ability to not disrespect your opponent, to show him respect, show up on weight, just get in there and fight. And your fighting should show your respect and make your work and make people want to watch it. And if that's not what people want to pay for, if they want to pay for and watch people shy talk, then go off and watch the likes of Colby Covington. But I'm in here to show respect and fight my ass off and put on a show, and I always will be.
Yeah, that's very wise words coming from a guy that's, you're so young. I mean, you look at the UFC now, the amount of guys in there that go in trash talk all the time, but you're the complete opposite. It's refreshing to hear almost, because you're a guy that respects his opponent. You won't. I've noticed in early interviews, I watched one with Katie Huntley, that you never came out and talked trash about your opponent or anything like that. And it's really refreshing to hear, man. But I want to get your thoughts on the welterweight division, because the welterweight division at Cage Warriors is probably their biggest and best.
Yep.
So we've just seen Nicholas Dalby. He's just been called up to the UFC again. Ross Houston, he looks like he could be on his way. It's still not known yet. Nathan Jones, Alex Lahore, it's just a massive amount of fighters that are very talented, very experienced. But what I want to know is, who in the division do you really want to take on? Is it, have you got a list of names that you want to take on? Is it a case of your coaches and Ian Dean just sort of putting comes up and says, hi Ian, we've got this guy. Do you fancy the fight?
I don't care. I really don't care who they put me up against. My job is to go in, beat the person standing in front of me, and that's it. If they want to put me in against the likes of Alex Lahore, Ross Houston, put me up against those big guys, I'm going to go in there and do the same thing I do, fight my ass off and try to win. That's all you can ask me to do. And I won't call people out, because that's not the type of style I am. As I was saying to Katie, unless the only reason that I would do that is if people won't take the fights, or if people won't fight me, and I'm finding it hard to get opponents. But the welterweight division is absolutely stacked. There's some seriously good fighters and some seriously big names. Like, you look at the likes of Dalby, is just gone, and rightly so. He absolutely deserves to be in the UFC. You look at the likes of Ross Houston, undefeated, 8-0, should be in the UFC as well. I think he deserves to be there. I think one more fight, if he wins it, he'll be there. You look at the likes of Adam Proctor, Alex Lahore, Reece McKee, now moved up to welterweight. There's some serious talent, and I wouldn't be surprised if by the time I get to fight the high end of the division, like the better guys in the division, that they're all gone, because their records are all ridiculous, and they're seriously close to the UFC, a lot of them. So it's just got to be a matter of time, and whoever's at the top of the division, when I'm coming around for that, sniffing around that belt, I'll take on. That's about it.
Yeah, man. So you mentioned there about, around the time you're starting to sniff around for the belt. Sort of, when is that time going to come? How many wins do you think you're away from that title shot?
It depends. It depends on the lads in front of me as well, because there's a lot of lads in this division that are sniffing around that belt, and they all deserve it over me at the moment. And obviously I've got to go out, I've got to fight, I've got to win, I've got to build a hype, I've got to get a lot of people enjoying my fights, and I've got to basically build myself and build my career and build my profile. And it'll just take, I think it wouldn't be mad to out and say that in the next year and a half, I could have that title around my waist, 2 years. And then UFC in the 2.5, 3 years.
That's fantastic to hear, man. It's great to hear you got that motivation. But I've still got now 2 final questions for you. So Cage Warriors Unplugged 2, the big event of the card is this Bantamweight tournament. Who's your pick of the 4 guys in that tournament?
Who are the 4 lads? There's what's his name?
So I'll run him through. So we've got Marko Kovacevic, I think I've pronounced that right. Josh Reed, Scott Malone, and Jack Cartwright.
Josh Reed.
That
was his name, yeah. Crazy horse, isn't it?
Yeah, he had that insane fight with Nathaniel Wood that is, it's just barn burner.
He'll win. He's fighting, is it Jack Cartwright versus Scott Malone in the first fight?
Yeah, so first round is Kovacevic, Reed, and then Malone Cartwright.
Yeah, it'll be Malone and Reed in the final, and I think Reed wins.
That's interesting you said that, because I interviewed Scott on Monday, and he said that his ideal opponent in the final would be Josh Reed, so it looks like everyone wants that fight.
Well, I think that's the fight that's going to happen. They're definitely the 2 lads that are up there in the top of the division. I think they're just a bit better than the rest. I think they deserve the title shot. I mean, they've had 2 insanely dominant champions ahead of them, and there's nothing they could have done. I mean, Jack Shore and Nathaniel Wood just kind of took over those divisions, and I think now it's about time that someone else steps up and takes that crown. And if I was a betting man, I'd be putting my money on Reed. Yeah,
okay, man. And so my final question for you is, I want to get a prediction from you for your fight against Martyn Harris. How's that fight going down? How are you getting the W?
I'm not mad on making predictions about fights, because obviously I don't know what game plan he's going to try and implement, but if all goes well, not if all goes well, when all goes well, all I know is I'll be walking out on my hand raised. That's about it. The earlier, the better. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going in there searching for a finish. I'm not stupid. I'll go in there, I'll bide my time. If the finish shows itself, I'll take it. I won't hesitate. If I don't feel like there's a finish there, I'll pick him apart for 3 rounds and I'll dominate the fight. So it's really whatever way he comes out and whatever game plan he tries to implement, because I'm ready for anything he has to throw, and I hope he's ready for anything I have to throw at him. And we have a great fight.
Yeah, it's great to hear, man. I'm really looking forward to this fight. Just before we sign off, man, we always give the fighters here the chance to get a shout out any sponsors or coaches. So if you've got any sponsors or coaches you want to shout out, man, feel free to go and do it.
Yeah, no, I'll give a shout out to all the lads at Team KF, the likes of Chris and Tom, and then all the boys, all the Yammies, and they have a fight coming up the week after me, so I just wish them all the best of luck. They're all fighting on Cage Warriors Academy in Ireland, so I just wish them all the best. The team is flying at the moment, and without them, I wouldn't be where I am, because they're a big, massive family, and I owe it all to them at the same time. And then to my sponsors, there's too many to name. I'm going to have sponsored T-shirts and sponsored banners, sponsored banner for the fight, and they all know who they are, and they all know how much I appreciate and how much I love their support, and I'm happy to be able to represent such a good group of people, and happy to have the right people behind me. That's about it.
Yeah, that's great, man. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and I wish you all the best for your fight, and I'm sure we'll catch up after.
Appreciate it, pal. Thank you.